Hi, this is Simon Liang with GrooveAsia.cm. Are you already a part of the #1 community in the world? If not, do so right now for free training and support, along with 5 sessions to help you succeed. Start now by joining us in our private Facebook group and get more exclusive video content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications turned on for all updates. Join our community right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the inside at GrooveAsia.cm.
Hello. Welcome to GLU, Groove Leaders Unite. My name is Nick Lakhani, and I am your host today. One of the things that we do in this community is we go live like this, don't we? So if you're watching live, put hashtag live. I can see a few people there. I can see Tyra. Just put yourself into the chat over there. That'll be great. Good to see you. And if you're watching this on replay, just put hashtag replay. Ask me a question. One of the things that we want to do is to give you some helpful hints, some suggestions, some ways in which you can actually go and help yourself to create, develop, and grow your business. Okay, and one of the things I do is I love little tools. Okay, I love the software that we use. Hashtag live, says Tyra. Thank you, Tyra. And one of the things that I like to do is I like shiny software. Do you get excited by software? No. Look, I get it. What I get excited about is the ability to work in a more efficient and more effective manner. That's what I love. And yes, we all get excited by a little bit of software now and again. But on the whole, we just want to get our stuff done, don't we? Isn't that what we want? Yeah? Just want to get stuff done. Just put that into the chat. I want to get stuff done. And one of the things that we can do is to think about what to do and how to do it. Now, there's always the way that you used to do it, right? I've always done it this way, and this is what I'm going to do. Okay, but let's not constrict ourselves. Let's not contain ourselves. Let's not, for example, be in a position whereby we stop ourselves from developing. And that's what I'm really asking you to do, is to have an open mind, all right? And one of the things that we can actually have a look at is this idea that we can use Google, Microsoft, those kind of software, and we all have them, right? We have a Google account, right? We all have them. How can you help yourself? Well, I think that in many ways you've already done what I'm going to suggest to an extent. But let me show you ways in which you can develop things that perhaps you haven't really thought about. There are some, not so positive elements or some hurdles to get across. Yeah. Therefore, one of the things that we can do is to actually be in a position whereby we can assess how we can help develop our business. So I see Dr. Lisa's in the chat. Hey, how you doing? So she is live from Baltimore, Maryland. Excellent. Love it. One of the things about our Groove Asia community is that we are all over the world. Isn't that great? Yeah? Isn't that great? And here we're going to go ahead and look at some tips. Now, I'm going to go and share my screen. Now, I want you to have a look at this very... actually, I'm going to change one thing on here. I'm going to change the settings on here so you can see the screen as best you can. Okay. Now, let's go and present my screen. Now, one of the things I want to look out for on this screen is you'll see nothing. Okay? So, let's take a look. There's nothing. Well, what I'm interested in is at the bottom here, I've got some icons. All right. It just so happens I've got a Google Chrome icon. And if I click on that, I get this saying, hey, who's using Chrome? It's asking me who is using Chrome. Well, why don't I go and show you? Now, on here, I have got 10. Is it 10? Are there any more? Okay, no more. But I can add more in here. Actually, these are 10 separate Google accounts that I have. I've actually had a lot more. In fact, I believe not all my Google accounts are on here. Okay? Now, there is a reason for that. That one is my old Toastmasters Club that I created. I happen to have the profile there. This is Groove Asia, Groove CM. This is my main profile. This is another online profile, another online profile, another. You get the idea, all right? Lots of different things in there. Now, one of the things that I want you to think about is these are separate Gmail accounts, okay? That's what you have to think about, is that these are separate Google accounts. And there's a reason why. Now, I'm sure that most of you have had more than one Google account. And you know it's not so easy to open up an account, because they want to know your name, they want to know your age, they want to know where you are, they want to know your sort of personal, some more personal information. They want to know your birth date. They want to know your inside leg measurement, don't they? And yeah, it's a little bit of a pain. Also, some of you may not be aware that if you open up accounts all the time, they actually post a limit on how many you can open. Now, how do they do that? Well, they do that on the telephone number, on the mobile number you use to authenticate the actual account. And so I've been in a situation where I've done the favor for friends who are, for example, creating Toastmasters clubs, right? And so there was a spate where I actually did, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10 accounts within a year. And I had a problem, because then it said, oh, this mobile has been used to open up too many accounts. I had to go and so I used my mobile phone, I used my wife's mobile phone, I used my boy's mobile phone, I used my girl's mobile phone. You get that? I ran out of phones. It has its challenges, but as long as you're not opening one every other week, it should be fine. Now, and this is the other thing. This is the advantage of having separate Gmail accounts. Yes, there are hurdles to get across, but it makes it easier to manage communications, because you've got separate repositories of emails. You have separate My Google business listings, yes? Because don't forget, the reason why you may have separate Google accounts is you may be working on different projects, or you may have multiple businesses. Okay, so how many of you are working on multiple projects or multiple businesses? Put it into that. Just type in multiple. And there's the reason why I do this is because it just helps me put things into the right place. It helps me organize, right? If I know where I put something, I usually should be able to find it, right? Not only do you have a separate Gmail, like for your email, you have a separate business listing. If you do the Google Analytics, that they're separate as well, which helps you to look at the performance. And for example, you may have websites for each project or each business. The Google Drive. Now, I know that most of my Google accounts are free, so you're limited on the amount of drive space you have. Well, then you've got multiple repositories of space there, yeah? One of the key things I always found was useful. Dr. Lisa says multiple, yeah. Let me just show that on the screen. Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Lisa. Multiple. Love it. Because that's who we are, right? We're entrepreneurs. We may be working on something here, maybe collaborating on something here. We've got a Groove Asia community. I have a separate, Google account for that, things like that. So now, one of the key things is, and we're here, we're here broadcasting on YouTube and hopefully Facebook. And we have a Google account with everything that is in a Google account. I've mentioned the Google Drive, I've mentioned the Google Mail, I've mentioned the analytics and so on. The YouTube channel is in this account. Now, what you can do, I mean, for example, on my, I've got a Google Workspace account, which means I pay for it every month or every year. And in there, I can have a multiple YouTube channels. Now, it's not about having a number of YouTube channels. For me, it's about having a channel that is congruent with that particular account. The reason for that is, let me give you an example. Okay, I'm going to go and let's look at my screen again. If I go to this one here, Sell Your Course, and click on it, and bring that over here. Now, what this has is on the top right hand corner, I don't know whether you can see clearly, it's got, let me just zoom in a little bit more, it's got a little red icon. Okay, so this is how I recognize which account I'm in. I make sure that each Google account has got its own picture, either of myself or something to do with that brand. In addition to that, look at all of the tools that I have, the YouTube, the email, the calendar, the drive, the contacts. Everything's all in place, isn't it? Everything is here. Now, the advantage I have is that I want to create a YouTube channel for this particular business. Well, I could just go into here, go to YouTube, and then go and create one, and which I've done. So therefore, let's go to, this is a new one actually, so let's go to your channel here, and there you go, Sell Your Course, right? So you get the idea. I've actually got this as my own YouTube channel, separate from anything else I'm doing. Now, not only, let me just come out of there for a second, not only do you have the calendars, the email and drive, you have notes, Google Sites, photos, there's all sorts of things like that. It helps you be organized. You have separate pots for things. It helps your branding, because each project or each company or each business you have can have its own branding, right? So whether it's on the email, whether it's on the on the top right hand corner where you can see up here, it actually really helps. In addition to that, your behavior in using that account is interesting. And I'll tell you why it's interesting. Because when you go to Chrome and you're on a particular profile, let's call it a profile, an account or a profile. It's separate, isn't it? Well, don't forget, Google remembers what websites you go to. Right? I hope you knew that. It remembers what YouTube videos you watch and how long for. Right? You knew that? Okay. So the interesting thing about that is that I've got a particular subject or a business that I'm working on, and I can compartmentalize all my behavior in that area. Okay, so therefore, on the sell your course profile, I've got everything to do with online courses, on passive income, on creating communities. That's my speciality, isn't it? And all of the suggestions that come up on YouTube are to do with that. All the data, all the previous links that it remembers, and I just type in the first 2 or 3 letters of an address and it brings it up. Everything is to do with that subject, isn't it? So it helps me be quicker. I know which bucket my stuff is in. All right. Also, it would actually, so therefore what Google does is it targets their marketing. They do target the marketing because they present videos to you, don't they? They present adverts to you, don't they? Therefore, they actually present those on the basis of your behavior in this account or in this profile. Does that make sense? Therefore, it's easier to manage, it's easier to understand. Also, for example, when you're working with a group of people, you can collaborate easier as well. It's all in there. So those in the Groove Asia community and the iSummit community, we have ways in which we share things, and we have things in the background that we work together on, and that is a central location, which is a Google account. Right? And also, for example, I've mentioned the performance tracking and the Google Analytics and Google My Business as well. I've mentioned that. In terms of security, now here, this is interesting. One thing that by chance is a happy sort of benefit from this is that if I got 10 accounts and I go specifically on one, if I've got my security breached on one of these accounts, it's contained in that account. Because as long as I'm not using the same password, or I have something in there which has, for example, a Word document with a list of all my usernames and passwords for all my, all my accounts. Now that would be bad, right? So it should be contained in that one area. All right. The other thing is, because it's contained in that one area, if you need help, it's targeted. If you need assistance, we mentioned reporting, the way in which you work, the management of it, the SEO elements of it. It's all directed towards that one, that one account, isn't it? And backup and recovery, things like that. So there's a lot of things that are beneficial to having these type of multiple accounts. Okay, multiple accounts. And now, for me, there's a couple of reasons as well. So we've looked at the features of what the differences are, what the availability is. We've looked at the benefits, which are things like, for me, it's like productivity. I know where things are. I know what I need to do every day. I know I need to go and check each one of those things every day, or every couple of days, or every 3 hours, or whatever it is that is in my schedule. I also, now don't get me wrong, there is a disadvantage in that I've got 10 accounts. Do I put all 10 on my phone? Well, no, I don't actually. I put the most important ones on there, right? And also, there are some which are backup accounts that then I do some things with in the email and so on. So there's a few things going on in the background. You can forward emails, like every email received on one account can be forwarded to another. So I do that a little bit as well. So I don't need to have 10 accounts on my phone. But I'm looking at it from, so we've looked at it from the strategic point of view, the technical point of view, the logistical point of view, haven't we? Dr. Lisa said, what's she saying here? Right. So she created 3 YouTube channels with personal account. Sounds like I should split them out at a higher level. Well, no, what I'm saying is don't look at that right now. There's a few things I'm going to say to you which may make you think on doing something, but don't do anything drastic today, right? I'm trying to get you to think strategically, all right? So therefore, and this is what I'm coming on to actually. So good point, Dr. Lisa. I appreciate you. And in fact, one of the ways in which I stumbled upon this little fact was that I was speaking to somebody about, okay, well, what do you want to do with your business? And then where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever? And I'm involved in a couple of different things, and for 3 or 4 actually, but at least for one of them, I want to be in a position to go and sell the business. Now, it could be that the website is doing amazingly well, okay? Or the YouTube channel is doing amazingly well. Or, for example, I may have an e-commerce store or something like that. There may be something, but I don't know what yet, but I don't know which yet either. Therefore, everything I do from now on, what I do, so for example, I would, for each venture, I now create its own Gmail account, the free account. Even if I've got the domain email and so on, that's customer facing. And that's an interesting thing as well, because nobody knows the email address for my Gmail accounts, where I have my YouTube videos. That is very important security measure you must take. Because as and when your YouTube channel blows up or becomes more popular, there are naughty people out there who try and hijack it. And one of the ways they do it is that they know your email address, because we publicize our email addresses, don't we? Therefore, I keep mine pretty much secret. Okay? It's very, very useful. Also, the reason I want to think ahead about selling the business is that I want to be able to show somebody that, for example, on my Stripe, the way in which I collect people buying courses and coaching and so on, for each business, I create a new entity in my Stripe account. I can do that. I can do a number. And therefore, I can show that this particular business has brought in this amount of money into this area. Great. So why don't we do the same for our Google account, the logistics as well? For example, the YouTube account is in a separate Gmail account, right? That's what we're looking at. The emails are in there as well. You may be selling the emails. You may be selling, for example, the fact that on YouTube and Google, you've got a profile of a track record of looking at certain things in certain ways and so on. And you may have subscriptions that are part of the business, and that, when you sell it, you basically say, hey, it's literally like I've created my own warehouse, and you as the buyer are going to go and buy everything in the warehouse. And the warehouse has got doors, windows, security systems. It's got a canteen. It's got fire sprinkler systems. It's got everything's proper, right? So you're buying the whole lot. And I'm just going to give the whole account like this. There you go. It's yours. Once we go through the process and everything, it's yours. I just give them the username and password. They take everything with them, and everything's self-contained. So that's something to think about. You may not be able to do it now. Don't get me wrong. Don't get worked up about it. Don't try and put more work on yourself today or in the next month or 3 months. But next time you go into a new venture, think about, are you going to be in a position to want to create a new profile, clean profile, and then build something from zero upwards? Now remember, practically speaking, what I do not want to do is to hand something over to somebody which has got sort of details about my own personal stuff, links to my bank accounts, other information in the Google Drive that I happen to have left there. So it's very important, isn't it? But I need you to think about that strategically and think ahead and look at the bigger picture. we sometimes spend too much in the weeds, and which the weeds are great because that's where the work is done. But we can't always be there. We've got to be able to think ahead, think strategically, look at the bigger picture. And that's why multiple Google profiles are important, necessary. I think they work really well. Let me show you another example that I've got over here. So let me just go put this on stage on here. So this is my Sell Your Course one, and on here, and I've got, for example, if I go to Google on here, I've got my inbox. Okay, I'm not going to go to the emails or whatever, but you get the idea. I've got all of this stuff related to this account. Now, if I go to this button here, and the bottom there, Google Chrome again, and it opens up this window saying, well, which profile do you want to open? Oh, okay. So let's go to this one here. And that is, notice I've separated them out with a different color scheme, a different background, a different logo, so that I identify them very, very easily. Okay? All of these are identified differently. So that is very, very important. Okay? Now, when you actually do something like this, visually, it must be separate. Call it something different. And also make sure that you know which profile you're in. Don't confuse yourself. If you are going to get easily confused, you know what? Perhaps this is not the best way to do it for you. Okay? But it requires a little bit of discipline, a little bit of just forethought and intention. You intend to create everything. So if your next business is selling blankets for dogs, right? And you're creating the duvets for doggies brand, then whatever your email address is customer facing, create a different email address for Gmail and then house everything there. Does that make sense? Remember, we're looking at logistically and also in terms of getting help from Google, getting analysis and so on. It separates things out. It helps you look at performance, look at progress, analyze your views on Google My Business, things like that. There's a number of different things in there. But ultimately, for me, the biggest benefit is that it helps me be clear on what I'm looking at. At any, you know that phrase that men think about their lives as a series of boxes in our brain, right? You've seen the comedian on TV, right? You know, there's a box for everything, right? Maybe is that the way? Maybe it's just for men? I don't know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me hear your feedback, ladies. Is it only men who think like that? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you here about having different compartments for different projects that you work on? Or is it you understand it, no problem? I don't know. Tell me. I need to know. I'm waiting for Dr. Lisa, Tyra, and a couple of other people to put their comments in the chat. Is it the same or is it different? Same for men and women, different for men and women. It's only your opinion, by the way. Okay? So Dr. Lisa says, it helps my brain to be organized. Yeah, so, okay, so that's one. Who else wants to give feedback right now? Okay, the things I've explained. Imagine we've got, over in the UK, we call it Celebrity Squares. You had a similar game where you got boxes, 3 boxes across and 3, in 3 rows, and you've got different boxes and different people are sitting in them. You know what that show is? I've forgotten what you call it in America. Over here, we called it Celebrity Squares. And, but that's the way I think, because there are so many things going on. If I know I'm working on an iSummit or Groove Asia project, I know which box to go to. It's the one here. If I'm working on Sell Your Course, it's the one over here. It helps me get to the correct room in my warehouse. Okay, if that's a good analogy. You get the idea. All right. So, just a little tip. You can have multiple free. All of mine, apart from one, are free. Right? The Gmail accounts. Label them and color them differently. Make sure in your mind, visually and with text, you can recognize one between another, so you'll never get lost. And but don't try and separate things out today. For example, you may be working on one particular, a couple of different projects on the same account. Don't try and separate them now, because I think you don't need to, unless you are in a position whereby you're going to go and sell your company or your brand or sell something. Hollywood Squares, that's it. That's it. Yes, that's one. Hollywood Squares. Yeah, that's what it's called. But I don't want you to do it now. What I want you to do is to think about next time you start a project or a different brand or a different company. I don't want you to do it. I want you to think about, are you going to get any advantage by doing it? Okay, so that's the key. Are you going to get an advantage? If it's not an advantage, don't do it just because I say so. There's plenty of stuff that I haven't got. I mean, I get involved in all sorts of things. I don't create a Gmail account just for every single thing. I don't have the time. But look, I wanted to share this with you as a really, really good tip that you want to use now, or hopefully sometime in the future. All right? Now, thank you so much for your help. Give me feedback, ask me questions in the chat, or get in touch with me on the Groove Asia community. You know where to find me. I'm just going to share with you a couple of things. For example, the 5-day challenges that we're doing at the moment. And one of the things about that is that you can actually go to the... so some of you said, hey, where are the challenges? I've never seen them. And therefore, if I just show you on here, what we have is... let's add this on here. Right. So what we have is, we have the Groove Asia YouTube channel. And if we go to playlists, so you can see on here, look, that's the session that we're currently running now. This is this week's challenge, okay? This week's challenge, day 3 is there. And if we go to playlists, these are the previous challenges right here. I'm going to share that with you right here. Okay. So you got over here, Groove Pages, January, Groove Mail, February, Groove Funnels, March, Groove Member, April, Groove Sell, May, and then this month is, if we go to the live over here, and this is Groove Sell, Groove Video, rather. And as you can see today, it's Lights, Camera, Action, day 4, and we're going to look at recording videos. Okay, so it's a bonus day today, recording videos. Take a look at the other stuff we've done as well. A lot of things on there for you. There's lots of other things available in terms of what you can look at. One of the things that the best resource okay, so one of the things that we can do is to, if you have a look at the events page, and I'll share this with you. Okay, let's just take a look. Right. Now, this is the events page, and then it actually then sends you to a different page. Okay, and let me just put this into the chat. That's the events page, and it takes you to this calendar over here. And the really cool thing about this calendar is that on the bottom right hand corner, which you can't see at the moment, bear with me. Okay, on the bottom right hand corner here, can you see it says London? Well, that's my time zone. If you click on it, you can change it to yours. It may well start off with Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, okay? Because that's where Groove Asia iSummit is, the headquarters is. Now, you can look at it in terms of every day, every week, every month, and look at all of these items, look at all of these events going on here. One of the things that I'm attending on Saturday, on this weekend, is this one here. Let's just look at it for a week. And you can see Saturday, this one over here, which is Connect, Communicate and Conquer with JJ. And click on this. Very, very good. It helps you communicate, tell people about your business. Now, one of the things is that no matter how good a business you have, if you can't tell people about it, that's an issue, right? Even if other people are talking about your business, you still have to tell those people. Even if you want to create videos and you don't want to be on screen on your face or even do a voiceover, you still have to use AI to go and do it. You still have to go and write the script. You still have to be able to communicate with people and how to engage people, how to get them interested, how to persuade them that you stand out from your competitors. Why should they come to you? So it's a fabulous, fabulous event. I'm excited to go for it. It's a 2-day event over the weekend, depending on the time zone. For me, it's 3 a.m. and I'm getting up to go and watch it. What time is it for you? Now, remember, the last thing I want to leave you with, think about the tools that we have. Not every tool is one for you, but bear in mind what it does, what the benefits are, and then at an appropriate time, you can come back, take a look, and then go and action it if that works for you. Not every tool works for everybody. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. I will see you next week, or in fact, those of you coming to the 5-day challenge, I'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes. Take care. Thank you for coming. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Simon Liang with GrooveAsia.cm. Are you already a part of the #1 community in the world? If not, do so right now for free training and support, along with 5 sessions to help you succeed. Start now by joining us in our private Facebook group and get more exclusive video content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications turned on for all updates. Join our community right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the inside at GrooveAsia.cm.